you have some conceptual ways to translate.
Okay, so hello. We are Hanoi team, and there's a lot of information that's already covered by the Ho Chi Minh team, because basically, like between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, there's some similarity, and we don't want to repeat here. So, but I mean, like, while developing the business plan for Hanoi City, we found some difference, which is very, which is very notable to mention here. Firstly, I want to introduce the members in my team. My name is Thuy. I'm from Vietnam, and I was one of two members of Hanoi team. Went to Vietnam, to Hanoi City, and we stayed there for. I stayed for 4 days, and Yuji-san stayed for 5 days. And in this presentation, I will cover the overview of the Hanoi market and five forces analysis, and like the information about the target customer. And Shinichi-san will cover the part about the attribute map, and Marike will cover the part about the 7 Ps, because we are working on the service, so we will cover the 7 Ps. And Rio will cover about the business canvas and sort analysis, cross analysis. And finally, Izzy-san will cover about the reverse financer. So firstly, in order to cut the time, this is some information about Hanoi. Basically, this is the old map of Hanoi City. I got it in 2009. But actually, nowadays, the size of the city is 3,200 kilometers square. Before this map, this map is 920 kilometers square. So even though the geographical size has been expanded, but the center of Hanoi City still covered in 12 districts like this. And the center of the center is 7 districts here. It's the center of the center. And the other district, like the surrounding district, and like have the supporting role for the center. And the population, Hanoi City accounts for 3% of population of the whole country, but contribute 8% to GDP. And the FDI attraction, like in 2006, for the first time in the history, Hanoi took over Ho Chi Minh City as the first, the #1 of FDI receiver. Actually, in the governmental policy aim to develop Hanoi, become a modern style, capital city of Vietnam and of the whole region. So if you compare the size of Hanoi City nowadays, 3,000 kilometers square, can it be compared with Tokyo? Because as I know, like when we decided to expand the city, the media in Vietnam said that Hanoi now has become one of the 13 biggest capital city in the world. I don't know, but well, and in the future, I think Hanoi will have a very bright future, because the development target from 2011 to 2020, the city aimed at this GDP per capita per year, and like 11.5 to 12% of growth. And the income per capita in 2030 is supposed to be $12,000 US per year, which is 12 times as today. The retail industry in Hanoi, like right now we have 10 shopping malls, 81 supermarkets, 2 wholesale centers. The number of convenience stores is quite limited. It's different from Ho Chi Minh City. And the number of convenience stores in Ho Chi Minh City is very large, but in Hanoi we have only 50 to 60 convenience stores. And 50 of these from one company. Its name is Habro Group, and it has 50 stores. And the last 10 is shared by different companies, but the number, the size, the quality is quite limited. About the consumer behavior, like 90% retailing activity are done through the local market. Or in some document you can read like all this is the wet market and traditional store. the retail growth rate about 17 to 20%. And from 2010, because Vietnam has become the member of WTO, so the government had to open the retail industry to international corporation or company. And the price stabilizing policy, because in the passing year we had high inflation, so the government decided to support for the retail company. They gave money to the retail company in order to stabilize the price. Here is a 5 forces analysis. According to my research, I think the threat from the supplier is the highest, because we have some lesson from the retail company in Vietnam, like the G7, they opened 500 stores, but because they had problem with the supplier, so they all failed, and today they have only 2 operating right now. And the threat from the competition, I think it's not so high and it's not so low, so I put it somewhere in the middle here. Because the competitors, according to these figures, I think the number of convenience stores is quite limited, quite small. And we just basically compete with this number and compete with this one. But this, I mean, the local market and traditional store, they have limited in quality. The safety, now we hear about the safety of the products. But in this kind of, types of retail players, these type of players in the retail industry, they cannot give a guarantee quality or safety. The substitute I rate it quite low, because in Vietnam nowadays, I think the substitute for retailing, for example, TV shopping, telephone shopping, internet shopping, is quite limited, due to the low technology or infrastructures. Threat from the new in-trend is in the meters, because even though the market is very potential, a lot of people want to join, but the barrier for entry is quite high because of the renting rate and the characteristic of the political system. If you don't have the relation with the government, it's very difficult to have a business. And threat from the buyers, here I rate 4, because the concept of the convenience store quite new. Because it's new, so there's no existing concept that the customer already aware of. So the threat from the buyer price, I rate for 4. So this is a picture of the wet market or the local market. 90% of the retail activities are done through these places. And this is the map of the convenience store in Hanoi, mostly our competitors. The blue one is a Harbor Mart. And the pink one is Shop and Go. The yellow one is Shop and Go, and the pink one is a feed mart. So this area is the center of the center, like the tourist area. Yeah, and the Hapro, our number 1 competitor if we join this market. So Hapro Mart, and this is a traditional store everywhere. Quite cheap, but not so cheap compared with the supermarket. But the variety of the items, not so much. Yeah, one thing in Hanoi, we don't need to open the store 24 hours, because after 10 p.m., the streets are almost empty, because people don't go out late at night. So if we open the store here, maybe in the tourist area we can open until 2 or 3 a.m. because the tourists, they want to having fun until after midnight, but for Vietnamese in other area, we don't have to. Okay, about the target market, as our calculation, we aim at young men, not young, quite a young man, from 15 to 35 years old. And according to our calculation, the population of Hanoi is 6.5 million. The ratio of men over women, just 50-50. So we calculate into this number of our target customer in this city. But of course, our stores sell to everybody, so we just target at this. And usually our target customer, unused to cooking, has no desire to learn how to cook. Unmarried, singer, more educated, white collar,
Working,
salaryman, middle class, and looking for convenience. So basically, this is our target market. And next time, Shinichi-san will give some information related to the market.
Good morning, everyone. So I'd like to talk about attribute map, which is very useful for observing the customers' attitudes and reactions. Yes, and it also simplifies the comparison of the customer's reaction to the product or something, comparing with the competitors. And thanks to this map, we can also see the additional resources and objective information for the potential market chances. So that's why so we needed to analyze this map. So this one, the first one, so we could classify the attribute map into 9. So as Hojun Tim already said, the first one is here. The energizers here. So this means that performing better than competitors. So we could classify this part into two categories, like integrated system and the integrated services. So the first one is the integrated system. So we could put the chair and the table, and we can provide the hot water and the microwave oven and the first one. This one means that so recharger, great recharger for mobile phone or computer, laptop. Because so we could have a chance to customers to take a rest and provide some food and yes, so by using a chair and table. Second was integrated services. So we could provide the service of post office service, so shipping, or travel agency services. So that customers try to make a reservation of the bus ticket of the highway bus or something like that, which is already introduced in Japan. The second one is this one, discriminator. This means that performing better than competitors where it counts. So we classify this one into three. The first one is positive attitudes of shop clerks. So as we can see on this picture, so we could find smiley, looks like a kind, and English speaking, and hopefully young and good looking nice girls or something like that. So the second one is smart design. So we could provide smart design with nice, beautiful advertisement and posters. Third one is we could offer the campaign. So maybe I think we can offer the special discount tickets by reduction of 10%. Within limited terms. The next one is this one. So it means that so performing at least as well as competitors. So we could provide some food like very secure in terms of hygiene. So here is a Omento factories in Japan, and this is the very fresh vegetable. So in terms of Japanese standard, I think we could provide something like a very high standard, very high quality of the hygiene goods. And also we could secure the stable and ample stock like this. So whenever we go to the convenience store, we could find a lot of stuff. Because of good logistics and stable supply chain or something like that. So we could assume that we also should provide like this system.